will be discussing an auditory-based activity using auditory strategies. So these are particularly important for children who are deaf or hard of hearing because they rely on auditory input for developing spoken language skills. By exposing them to a variety of sounds and providing opportunities for practice discriminating between sounds, children can improve their ability to detect and differentiate between speech sounds. Auditory bombardment in particular can help children with hearing differences become more familiar with the sounds of spoken language, which can improve their ability to recognize and produce those sounds themselves. Additionally, auditory memory can help children retain and recall information that they hear, which is essential for developing strong language and literacy skills. Especially important for children who are deaf or hard of hearing, as they may need additional support and practice to develop their listening and spoken language skills. For preschoolers with hearing differences, developing strong auditory skills is crucial for building a strong foundation for future language and academic success. Using auditory strategies such as auditory bombardment, auditory memory can provide a fun and engaging way to expose children to a variety of animal sounds through play. Auditory bombardment involves repeatedly hearing the same sounds, in this case, animal sounds. Your child's brain will start to recognize the sounds more easily and accurately. This can help improve their listening skills and ability to distinguish between different sounds, even if they have difficulty hearing them clearly. Auditory memory involves encouraging your child to remember and recall information that they have heard by having your child listen and identify between the different sounds. So auditory memory involves encouraging your child to remember and recall information that they have heard. By having your child listen to and identify different animal sounds, you are helping them develop their ability to remember and recall specific sounds and associated information. This can help them better process and remember information they hear in the future. So I'm just going to introduce the concept of O. McDonald's farm. This is a fun and engaging way to help your child improve their listening and spoken language skills while having fun with farm animals. So the material you will need: some pictures of farm animals, common farm animals, such as the cow and the pig, or the chicken and the horse. These are concrete objects: pig, cow. You will also need some audio recordings of animal sounds, or you can make the sounds yourselves during the play. Moo, oink, oink, cluck, cluck, and neigh. We can also use some pictures. So these, if you don't have concrete, you can use some visuals through pictures. You can also use the sounds. So this one, pig, oink, oink, cow, moo. These can help. These are some materials that we can use for this activity. The activity steps that I'm going to introduce, we're going to show your child a picture or toy of the farm animal and name it. For example, this is a cow. You can play the audio recording, or you can play the sound yourself. Listen carefully. The cow says moo. This is a cow. The cow says moo. Ask your child to identify the animal they heard. What animal makes this sound? Moo. Step 3, ask your child to identify the animal that they heard. For example, a cow or a pig. Then you can prompt your child to say the animal sound. Can you make the sound of a cow? Prompt your child to imitate the animal sound. Now you can repeat steps 1 through 4 with different farm animals. So now I'm going to give you a script of exactly how you can say it or play with your child. So, hey Eiley, today we're going to play with some farm animals. We have different kinds of farm animals. We're going to have fun listening to the animal sounds, identifying the animals, and imitating the sounds. Are you ready? So step 1, you can show them the animal picture or the animal. I will show you a picture of a farm animal and we will name it together. This is a cow. Say cow. And the child will say cow. And then you can play the animal sound. We can use a concrete object. Moo. Listen carefully. I will play the sound. Moo. Step 3, identify the animal. So, which animal makes this sound? Moo. Can you tell me which animal makes this sound? Moo. And then they would discriminate between the two, the cow and the pig, or the cow and the chicken. Step 4, imitate the animal sound. Moo. Now it's your turn to make the sound of a cow. You say moo. Repeat the steps with a different animal. Let's try with a different animal. This is a pig. Say pig. Have a concrete object and the picture. Pig. And at the bottom it has a name. Pig. Can you tell me which one's the pig? And then the child can grab it, can point. You say oink. Oink, oink. Oink, oink. So integration of A-B strategies. Remember to use clear and natural gestures when you're repeating the animal sounds. This will help your child understand what you are saying and see how you're moving your mouth or your mouth moves when you make the sound. For example, moo, moo. You can try to exaggerate your lips a little bit. You can also use visual cues as pointing to each picture or animals, showing them the toy to have them remember the name and the sounds of the animals. So A-B strategies, as I mentioned before, we're using auditory bombardment. This is going to expose your child to a variety of animal sounds in a fun and engaging way by helping them learn to distinguish between sounds and improving their listening skills. Auditory memory, we will encourage your child to remember the names of the animals and the sounds that they make. This can help improve their memory and reinforce their ability to recall. We have some modifications for this activity. If your child is still learning to say the sounds or has difficulty saying the sounds, we can start with 1 or 2 animals, and then you can gradually add more as they become more comfortable. You can also use pictures or toys to help them visualize the animals and their sounds. This one, I got it from Walmart, or you can, if you have a printing machine, you can use this, or iPad, which is very accessible. You can just find pictures on animal on Google or an app. Another modification, if your child has more advanced language skills, you can encourage them to describe the animal. For example, the cow is big and brown, or the pig is small and pink. Or use animal names in sentences. For example, the pig says, oink. If your child has limited language skills, you can simplify the activity by focusing on identifying and imitating the animal sound. Oink, oink, moo, moo. For modification for deaf or hard of hearing students, instead of you use some flashcards with pictures of the animals and the written labels. You can use pig, and then oink. You can also use sign language to teach them the names of the animals and its sounds. Encourage a child to imitate the sign or gestures of the animal sounds. A few other modifications you can use for children who are deaf or hard of hearing. Trying to reinforce vocabulary and concepts. Use visual cues such as hand gestures to reinforce the sound of each animal. Use cues such as a flashlight or something that vibrates to signal when the sound is being played so that they know to listen before you produce the sound. Use a visual sound meter to show the loudness of each sound. Use a tactile cue such as vibration or touch cue to help reinforce the rhythm of the sound. So say if you're introducing a sound, you can have more of a rhythm. So follow up. You can encourage a child to use the animal sounds and names in daily conversations and play activities to promote generalization. Gradually increase the animals and the animal sounds as they become more proficient. You can practice this activity anytime, anywhere, at the park, on a walk. Try listening for or imitating the sounds when you're on a walk or at the park. You can also use books and talk about the sounds that they make. For example, this would be a farm animal book, and then you can have the cow. You can have them match the sound of the cow. So, moo.